Reb Noson, he goes into the order of the daily sacrifices in the temple. He brings down what's known that there was what's called the Korban Tamid. Korban Tamid was the daily sacrifice. There was one in the morning and one Bein Ha'arbaim in the afternoon. The Korban Tamid was afterwards accompanied with another sacrifice, another offering called the Ketoret, the incense. So first you had the sacrifice, the animal, which was offered in the courtyard, in the chatzer of the holy temple, where they were standing the altar for the sacrifices. And afterwards, the incense was offered in the inner heichal, which is the inner room, the bait of the holy temple. There was the special golden altar just for incense. It was burnt on there. Fine. So now, the Arizal explains like this, that the whole purpose of all these offerings in the temple, the idea is to elevate from a lower level to a higher level. That's basically our job in this world. One of our missions here is to elevate everything back to its source, which is Hashem. So logically, when elevating, you do step by step. So Reb Noson points out there's a dilemma here. There's a question here. What's the thing? The Arizal explains that in the Korban Tamid, the sacrifice, which is offered again before the incense, it's elevating already from in the middle of the worlds. As is known in the Kabbalah, there's what's called 4 spiritual, supernal, spiritual realms, worlds, dimensions, right? They're called Abiyah, Atzilut, Beriya, Yetzira, Asiya. Those are the 4 levels, 4 worlds. Asiya being the lowest one, Atzilut the highest one. And the Arizal explains that the Korban Tamid is starting from somewhere in the middle. I think the second world, whatever, something like that. And from there, going upwards. In other words, you're elevating already, starting in the middle of being elevated. And the sacrifice, the Korban Tamid, is doing the job in the middle, going up closer. But all this is only in the Chatzer. Afterwards, the incense, which is on a much higher level. The incense, what does it do? The elevation process, the elevating work of the Ketoret, the incense, is that it goes down into the depths of the realm of impurity, the realm of evil, the realm of unholiness. And from there, the Ketoret has the power to refine and elevate the holy sparks trapped in the world of evil. And from there, to bring it to the highest world called Atzilut. And this is offered in the bait, in the actual house of the holy temple, the heichal, where there was like we said, the golden temple, the golden altar there, which was meant for the incense, the Ketoret. So Reb Noson asks the obvious question: shouldn't the order be reversed, since the goal is to elevate? And logically, you don't start elevating from the middle; you start from zero. So it would make more sense to first start with the incense, which is going to -0, elevating from the realm of impurity, of unholiness, and from there to go upwards to the Atzilut, the highest world. And if there was something left behind, then you have the Korban Tamid, which starts in the middle to elevate afterwards. What's this that we're going the opposite? So he explains something amazing, Reb Noson. He says like this, that the idea of the Korban Tamid is the initial experience of every Jew, every person who begins to taste what Judaism is about, what Hashem is about, what Torah is about, what spirituality is really about. So that experience doesn't start off at 0. Everyone is given a boost and a taste and an awareness above their true level to give them experience of a taste of what's actually there. But it's in what's called the chatzer, the courtyard. It's not actually in the house itself. It's a foretaste of something which is before what's actually there. This is done, why? To at least give people a goal, a yearning to know what they're looking for, what they're yearning for, a direction, so that now when wanting to proceed to enter into the house of holiness, they at least have a foretaste of what they're looking for, so they know what direction to take. So this is needed for people to start with. The idea of the sacrifice, the Korban Tamid being offered before the Ketoret. The main work, though, is the incense. The main work of every Jew, of every person in this world, is to rectify. To rectify holy sparks trapped in the evil due to my actions in this lifetime or previous lifetimes, but to get back what's truly mine. Because so long as I have holy sparks which are mine trapped in the evil, in the unholiness, I am incomplete. I can't now expect to just go on with the flow and keep on going. Well, I have parts of me left behind. They won't let me into the house. The Zohar explains that in the bait, the house is a higher level. Standing at the entrance are what's called neture tar'a, the guards of the gate. And they don't let anybody in unless you're fully required and you have all the credentials to enter. And if not, they push you out even from the chatzer, the inner courtyard, the foretaste that you were having, even that you're pushed out of in order to go back to collect your holy sparks. So this is the second stage of the Ketoret, and explains now why the Ketoret is after the Korban Tamid. Because this is needed. Again, the Korban Tamid is to give you a foretaste, but the major work to get into the house of holiness, to be inside in the ball game, is the Ketoret. And at this stage, most people crack, most people crash, most people have great difficulty in surviving this stage because it's throwing them back into an area where they don't want to be, where they came from, and they came out luckily alive, and they're being forced to go back to that direction. I'm not interested. No way. I don't want to live like this type of life. Forget it then. God forbid. So it's a dangerous time. What's needed is, on the simple level, the Ketoret. That explains also, based on this, the value of reciting what's called Pitam HaKetoret. You have in the Siddur the Ketoret recitation. Some people are very careful even to read it on parchment, but to say it word for word with concentration, to do your best to say that with the actual force. That's one idea. Reb Noson goes deeper, that the whole idea of Ketoret was revealed by Moshe. How do we know the power of Ketoret to save from death? With the whole story in the Chumash, in the Bible, that Moshe sent Aharon when the plague was let out and the angel of death went out killing people left and right. So Moshe told Aharon, go take the machta, the plate, from the holy plate with the incense, put fire and make the smoke, and go, and you will stand in between the dead and those who are still alive and prevent the angel of death from continuing his job. So from here we see the whole secret of the Ketoret Moshe Rabbeinu knew. So the idea is Ketoret also, the power of Ketoret corresponds to the true tzaddikim who are called Rosh Bait, the master of the house, and they can help any Jew to get into their house, to get into the house of holiness that they have to get into. The key, Reb Noson explains, is that even though a person is faced with impurity and unholiness, and he has this great difficult task of collecting his lost sparks, and he risks being trapped again in this realm of unholiness, his main key is to find the Rosh Bait, the tzaddik who is the master of the house, who can help a person get back through the chatzer and into the house of holiness.